Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am going to be covering peppers, starting them from seed. And in one of my previous episodes, I discussed how your hot peppers have to be started a little bit sooner than your sweet peppers because it takes longer to germinate and to really get going. These were seeded on the 1st, so almost a week ago, and they still haven't jumped up. Now these right here, these are Ajavarskis, I have not sown yet, and I'm getting ready to do that today. But these over here I did, and these are the ones that I sowed. I did the Anaheim peppers. I just did 2 of those. I did, and those are for Baker Creek. I did Tam, I joke around and call them jalapenos. So I have a tendency to do that, to misspeak. Jalapenos, Tam jalapenos from Baker Creek. And I just did 2 of those. And Barron, I did 4 of these. Barron hot peppers from Johnny Seeds. And 4 poblano peppers from Johnny Seeds. Now, the only ones, in my opinion, that I would even really consider hot are your jalapenos and your Anaheim. And your Anaheims aren't quite as hot as your jalapenos. But these 2, the poblanos and Barron, they have just a little teeny tiny kick to them. And I don't like hot peppers. So, for me to say they're not really hot, that's saying something. But just the fact that they excuse me, biologically fall into that category, I want to go ahead and get them started a little bit sooner than my sweet peppers. Now, the ones that I'm planting today are the Ajavarskis and California Wonder. Okay, so I've got another module over here. I'll move over in a moment. As you can see, these aren't that big. They're not super small compared to like lettuce. Oh my goodness, and parsley is really small. Carrots are small too. But I'm just going to put 2 seeds, give or take. I might just do, and this last one I'm just going to put 1 in. Okay. Because personally, I don't like thinning my seedlings because then I feel bad. I'm just weird that way. I feel guilty. I'm like, oh no, the poor little pepper plant, it survived this far. There's 2 of them, and now I got to cut one with a pair of scissors, and I just don't have the heart to do it. So instead, I end up separating them, and a lot of times I'll just give them away. So I'm going to go ahead and water this in. And if you didn't catch it in a previous video, I discussed what I do with my watering for my seedlings. And that's just to fill this up with water, cut a hole with a knife, and then just water it this way. Now, one thing that's interesting, I don't know if you guys could see this or not. That water's sitting on top of the soil. It's taken a long time to be absorbed. This potting mix that I had mixed up, I had it in front of my fireplace in a bucket. And it got really, really dry. And one thing to note about soil is that once it gets to the point to where it's super dry, it actually will repel water. Whereas if you notice here, this is already moist, it goes right in. So in a case like that, so that's why you never want your soil to get super dry in the garden or anything, because it repels it. So, oh, he's floating. So in a case like that, I'm just doing very slow micro waters, just doing a quick watering, letting it absorb, and then come back and doing another one. And if your garden soil ever gets that dry, that's what you'll want to do, is you'll want it to do a quick watering, let it absorb, then come back and do it again. Okay, I just got water all over my table. Story of me. All right, so now we're moving on to, I got another 4 modules of Ajavarskis I'm going to be planting in 20 California Wonders. Well, let me, California Wonder right there. And actually, I think I may have some saved seed that I've wanted to try using. So let me check on that. Yeah, I'm just a little crazy. I thought, I could swore that I had seeds from my California Wonders I saved, but I probably stuck them in a drawer somewhere. Okay. Now these are all aphid pollinated, and I think they're the heirlooms. So you can save the seeds from these, assuming you don't get cross pollination, and that's a whole nother episode. But okay. So this soil is already really dry. And I'm just going to go ahead and come in here. And I'm doing 1 to 2 seed per module. Again, if I get more than 1, it's fine. Because I think these seeds are 2 years old, I think. A lot of your seeds can last for many, many years, with the exception of your alliums, which is your onions. So it's not that big a deal, assuming that you store them correctly anyways. Okay. Once upon a time, I used to do, read some of the seed packages. It'll say sow to like maybe 3 per module, and then thin to the strongest one. And I quit that because again, I can't cull my plants. I can't take scissors and kill them. They've come so far. So instead, I just do 2 at the most. And in case I don't have one come up, there's an extra one in another cell, because these are going to be uppotted. Here in probably about 4 to 5 weeks. Well, no, these take about 2 weeks to germinate. Your regular sweet peppers. About 6 weeks, I'd say. These are going to be moved up to either styrofoam cups or it'll probably be styrofoam cups. The red solo cups I use for my tomatoes when I up pot those. The only things that I up pot, and all that is it's a fancy word for going from modules like this to a bigger pot. Only thing I do up pot is tomatoes and peppers. Everything else, no, my melons and cucumbers and stuff like that, I start them out in styrofoam cups because they're such big plants to begin with. And they're only going to be in that cup maybe 3 weeks. Okay, now I'm not going to water these with this just yet because I made a mess. So I'm actually going to fill up the kitchen sink and let, with about that much water, and set these in it and let it absorb it, because the soil is so dry it is rather hydrophobic. But anywho, there you go. That's all there is to it. One thing to note though, and this is extremely important when it comes to peppers. If you're trying these from seed, a lot of people that have never grown them before may complain that they didn't have any success. Peppers need a really high soil temperature to germinate, and you're going to have a seed mat. And I'm actually the thumbnail of this video, and probably maybe even the intro, is going to be a picture of a heat mat. You can get them off of Amazon. You can get them at just about any nursery, anything like that. But all it is just like a heating pad, like when you're a kid, but it's for plants. And they need that soil temperature. They need that in order to germinate, or else you're going to get really spotty germination. And it's going to take a really long time for them to germinate. These, as is, I anticipate 2 weeks at the most. Maybe if I'm lucky, I might even get 10 days. But I'm going to say 2 weeks. My hots, they got about another week. Maybe 2. But yeah, there you go, guys. Hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, anything that you'd like to see, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll get to it in the next video. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Y'all have a great weekend. See ya. Bye.